let's get right into Prop 15. And this is such a relevant topic, and you are the best person here to kind of uh, let us know. I mean, obviously we're trying to not get too political one way or another, but I think that is kind of everyone still needs to be informed of what it is and potential effects it has. So if you want to go into that, that'd be great.
Sure. So you have to start the story back in 1978. So we have to set the stage about how the current property tax system works, I think, in order to properly understand how the changes are working out. As most people know, back in 1978, Prop 13 passed. And what it did is, instead of creating or staying with the system where market values of property, whether they went up or down every year, was what the tax is based on, they set a new system up. And the system is basically, when you acquire a property, you get an acquisition value. So, and generally that's the purchase price. So we'll use a simple example as we go through this. We'll pick an office building and we're going to make a really easy, low number. We're going to just call it $1 million office building. Okay. So if in year one, you buy this for $1 million and that's what it's worth, then the taxes can only go up by the rate of inflation each year after that purchase. And that rate of inflation, by the way, can't exceed 2%. So for the past, 40 years or more, people have been able to buy these types of properties, and they've been able to predict what that expense is going to be for the life of their property under Prop 13. It's going to be $1,000 of tax at 1%. That's California's property tax rate for each $100,000. So on a $1 million property, they're paying $10,000 of base property taxes, and then it goes up by 2% a year. So in year two, they're paying $1,020, and in year three, they're paying a little over $1,040, right? Because it's a compounding system going up. And since Prop 13, every property has been treated the same. So that rule would apply to residential. That rule would apply to industrial, commercial, what have you, up and down the state. Small exception if you're, an aqueduct or a railroad or something like that. But for 99% of everybody that would likely come into contact with this, that's the rule. What happens is historically in California, the real estate values have risen faster than a compound 2%.
Yes.
And so for a lot of owners out there, whether it's commercial, industrial, or residential, or agriculture or what have you, they have some built-in savings under Prop 13. So for example, if we took this $1 million office building and, that was bought, and let's make it bought, 20 years ago, it's probably worth something like $6 million now. Let's just make that as a number up. And it's, even though that compounding's happened, it's not going to be assessed at much more than what, like $1.2 million, something like that. I mean, I'm not going to try to hit every piece of math on this, but that's a lot of savings.
Right.
And, again, looking at the tax rate and everything, we're talking about a savings of maybe as much as $50,000 a year, maybe a little short of that in my example. But that's a lot of money. And especially when you're an investor in real estate and you're doing an income approach, you're looking at your expenses, et cetera, you're doing well. So for a number of years now, there's been a debate in California, and the debate has been over whether this system is fair. And they call it the third rail because, there've been a lot of challenges and a lot of debate about it, but no one's ever been able to change this system for anybody. At this moment in time, what we've got a proposition on the ballot called Prop 15. And what it would do is it would take away that protection under Prop 13 that limits the increases to 2% after the acquisition value. It would take that away with respect to commercial, industrial, and a lot of agricultural property. It wouldn't take it away with respect to the land that the crops are growing on for agriculture, but it would take it away with respect to the processing facilities and everything else.
So only commercial, no residential, right? So residential and Prop 13 will still be.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Prop 15 does not touch residential, and that includes single family homes,
right,
multifamily homes.
Right.
It includes rental properties, anything that's zoned essentially residential.
Right.
should be protected.
Mhm.
There's some areas that are not really clear,
Mm.
and definitely lots of different opinions on it. Whether, for example, a mobile home park would qualify. I tend
I
to think
see.
it would.
Mm.
Nursing facility may depend on what type of services being provided. It may be a mixed assessment. No one knows for sure. So there's definitely some properties on the edge, but generally speaking, this would take away the Prop 13 protection
Mm.
for commercial, industrial, and some agriculture, and it would turn it back to the system before Prop 13.
Right.
So what would happen is whatever the market value is, whether it goes up or down, that's what you're going to get for each year,
Mm.
starting in 2022.